नमस्ते, मैं हूँ वंशी सूर्य और आप देख रहे हैं वंशी इंडिया। सामाजिक मुद्दे हो या फिर राजनीतिक मुद्दे या फिर तेलंगाना के राजनीतिक मुद्दे, हर किसी पे खुलकर राय रखने वाले आज हमारे साथ हैं प्रोफेसर के नागेश्वर जी। तो आइए उनसे बात करते हैं। जी नमस्ते, हाउ आर यू
Namaste,
डूइंग?
Vanshi. Namaste. Very happy to talk to you.
या
We always encourage students to practice, but it's really good that you are in BA first year and practicing journalism.
या
Nice.
So I wanted to talk on politics. So how do you see politics of India compared to the past and the current situation?
Now, the first thing is there's a greater emphasis on identity rather than serious public issues. So, जो लोगों का मुद्दा रहते हैं, so I can't speak Hindi properly. So जो issues है, जो आम जनता का issues, वो those issues are now relegated to the back seat. They're increasingly replaced by identity of religion, caste, etc. That's a disturbing thing because religion doesn't feed you. Ultimately, roti, kapda, or makan, or your job, skills, education, health, these are the issues that should dictate the political discourse. Quite unfortunately, on the contrary, region, religion, caste, and all kinds of parochial identities are dictating the political sphere. That's the number one. Number two, there's a very big influence of politics, money on politics. So people are both by the political parties distribute money at the time of elections, and after elections, they distribute money in the form of welfare schemes. I'm not against all the welfare schemes. Well, some of the welfare schemes are essential, but left, right, and center, the people are given money to simply make somebody sit in power. So that is the second problem. The third problem is the biased political and public sphere. The media is completely become subjective, became driven by the political agenda. It's very difficult to find an independent, unbiased media. That's the reason the social media, digital media has taken deep roots in the Indian society. Then the fourth aspect is the disappearance of ideology. So people are crossing floors like anything. We have seen how seven Aam Aadmi Party MPs simply joined the BJP. Ravachandra became a convert who earlier he was a bitter critic of BJP.
Right.
So people have a very scant regard for ideology, scant regard for loyalty to the party. So these are some of the disturbing things that are happening.
Do you think any decisions are made in the interest of countries or the people of India?
We can't say that everything is against the country. It's true that there's many decisions which are taken place in the interest of the country. So I'm not trying to be pessimistic in that sense. There are many great things that have been done. So there are great people in every political party. But on the whole, the political process is driven by money, driven by power, driven by vested interest, rather than common man's interest in particular. But that doesn't mean nothing is being done to the people. If nothing is being done to the people, India will not be so developed as it is today.
What do you think is the biggest issue our country is facing right now?
Well, that's extremely difficult to give ratings to the issues. Each issue is very important. So an issue which is very important to me may not be important to you.
Right.
So a young person like you may find skills, jobs are very, very important. For a retired professor like me, a job is not important. So for a woman, safety and security is maybe of paramount importance. For a man that may not be the issue for him. So for an Adivasi, Jal, Jangal, Jameen are the issues. For an urban person, you have traffic, jams, housing problem, cost of living, pollution. These are the issues. So issues are not the same for everybody. They keep on changing from place to place. Keep on changing across the demographic, geographic character categories.
Right. Religion has joined the politics, has entered the politics in a very big way. So what is your take on this?
Well, religion and politics, if they get mixed up, religion will be politicized, but politics will not get purified. So if religion and politics interact to purify the politics, I would love to have religion or politics admixture. But that's not happening. What is happening is, in the name of religion, votes are sought, power is obtained, so people are divided, and hatred is increasing in the society. Well, that's not what the religion is meant for. Religion is meant for purification of body and soul. Religion is meant for purification of society. But quite unfortunately, in the name of religion, what is happening is people are getting mobilized, and ultimately there's the power obtained through religion is not serving the divine purpose. They are serving essentially the purpose of remaining in power, to amass money, to amass wealth for the Western interest.
We often hear people saying that they have lost their freedom of voice and speech. So what is your take on that?
Well, that's too much exaggeration. If there is no freedom of speech, person like me wouldn't have spoken so much. I've been speaking for decades, and nobody has done anything to me. And so that is not true. So Indians still enjoy a freedom of speech, but there are certain disturbing trends like criminalizing dissent. So dissent is integral to democracy. So dissent cannot be criminalized. But you have indiscriminate use of laws like sedition. Though Supreme Court has warned against it, it has come in some other form. So you have the political hooliganism threatening freedom of expression at a grassroots level. And on the other hand, there is a tendency of misusing the freedom of expression. So in the name of freedom of expression, all kinds of things are being pervaded in the country. So it's not true that India doesn't have that kind of freedom. India still provides a very great amount of freedom to speak. Otherwise, people like us wouldn't have survived in the society.
Right. What are the differences you see in the Modi government and the Congress government before?
I don't believe in making such sweeping generalizations. I'm neither a fan of Modi government nor a fan of Manmohan Singh government. So as a journalist, as an independent journalist, I believe in the critical adversarial journalism. When Congress was in power, we were equally critical. Now when the BJP is in power, we are certainly critical. So the business of a journalist is to raise questions on behalf of the people, not to become an appendage to the ruling apparatus. So that's not the business of a journalist. That's not the business of a public intellectual. So I don't believe in labeling any government. I don't believe in summarily rejecting one party for the other. That's the business of politicians.
Right. How do you view Rahul Gandhi's approach towards politics and his working style?
Well, again, that's a too general question. So, whom am I to judge Rahul Gandhi? So, he's not, neither I am his teacher nor his examiner. So, I am only an analyst. If you ask me a specific instance of Rahul Gandhi's politics, I can always tell that. But he should be much more serious politician. The biggest criticism on Rahul Gandhi is he is not so serious in politics. Well, he might have changed after the Bharat Jodo Yatra, but still he is not as fiercely political as Narendra Modi or Amit Shah. So that's number one problem. Number two problem is this culture of high command. Unless you come from the grassroots, so you do not understand the nuances of politics. Well, the problem with Rahul Gandhi, because he has been he came as he was dropped from the top. So when you are dropped from the top, you do not understand the political dynamics properly. On the contrary, Narendra Modi has come from the grassroots. That is an advantage he has. So, but at the same time, there is a significant improvement in the way Rahul Gandhi is raising the issues. Well, that is for the people to decide.
Coming to Telangana, do you think Revanth Reddy government will come back again in power in coming elections?
We are sitting in 2026. It is foolish to speculate what happens in 2029. Things change at a very rapid pace. So we cannot make any election. Politics have a tendency to undergo changes very rapidly. So why should we speculate about what happens 3 years afterwards? So that's a too long period. And elections, we have seen how political climate changes even at the last moment. There are people who are undecided even till the polling day. So in a country where poll dynamics are driven by a host of factors, so I don't think it is scientific and it's rather unrealistic to speculate on a longer time frame like this.
How do you see BRS in future of Telangana?
That's my answer is the same then. Neither I can speculate about Congress nor about BRS. I can only analyze what is today. With some reasonable evidence, we can speculate little further. But you can't speculate what happens in 2029. Did anyone speculate with a certainty that Congress will come to power when the party was decimated in Huzurabad?
Yeah.
So it got only 3,000 votes. When the Congress lost a sitting seat in Huzurnagar, and when the Congress veteran Jana Reddy lost in Nagarjuna Sagar, when the Congress got only 2 seats in the GHMC elections, did anyone speculate with certainty that Congress will form the government? So these are all things which happen at a unprecedented pace. So things, BJP won Dubak, BJP won GHMC, Dubak, BJP won Huzurabad in one of the historic contests. But where BJP failed to come to power in 2023. So these are all dynamic changes that takes place. So any political party should not be judged by what happens in future. It has to be judged by what it is doing today and what it has done in the past.
Recently, K. Kavita has also launched her party. So what is your take on that? How
everybody has a right to start a party. You can also start a party called Vanshi Party. So like Vanshi India, you can start Vanshi Politics. So that's the choice of any person.
Yeah.
Well, she has been in Telangana movement. She has been in politics. She was a legislator. So she is quite experienced. She is well known to the people of Telangana as daughter of KCR,
right,
as a leader of the Telangana Jagrati. So she has a political standing. She wants to test on her own. So when she wants to have a political startup, this is the age of startups. So we should encourage all kinds of startups.
So nowadays, everyone is saying that our India has been moist free. Do you really think our country is moism free?
Well, again, how do you define the word Maoist free? Well, in terms of cadres, in terms of incidents, in terms of military activity, certainly Maoists got vanquished. There's no dispute about it. So, but in terms of the conditions, the socio-economic conditions like Jal Jangal Jameen that fuel Naxal movement in the country, well, were they addressed? Not really. So, the government has certainly achieved the military success. It has achieved the military success. But left-wing extremism is a socio-economic problem. It is a political movement rooted in the grassroots reality. We may not agree with them. I don't agree with the path they have chosen. I don't believe in an armed revolution to overthrow a democratically elected government. I don't believe in their violence and I don't believe in their philosophy of individual annihilation. All that is true. But the point again is, well, a political movement should be judged differently from others. A political movement has its roots in socioeconomics. So those roots need to be addressed.
My last question, the people, the youngsters who are coming in the field of media, what advice you would like to give them?
Well, have a passion for journalism. Journalism is not just a profession. It's a passion, it's a mission. It's a great profession as far as its ability to reach out to the people. It provides you unbelievable opportunities to learn. If you have that kind of a learning appetite, you can learn new things on a daily basis, on every minute, every second. Right. I still learn. I've been in journalism for 4 decades, and I've been in print, electronic, and digital media I've written 4 to 5,000 articles, have 4 to 5,000 bylines. I've written in almost all the leading dailies like the Hindu, Economic Times, Pioneer, Hindustan Times, Deccan Herald, across the country. So I comment on all TV channels like Republic, India TV, Times Now, India Today, almost all channels. And I wrote for all the websites. But still my appetite has not reduced even an inch, even a bit also. I still love to write, I still love to learn, I still love to read. So you should have a kind of a insatiable appetite for learning, insatiable appetite for knowledge, for information, and you should have the ability to articulate, communicate. So it's a mission, the missionary zeal with which a young journalist should function. The mission is to educate society, to inform society, even sometimes to entertain society also. Journalism, entertainment journalism is also there. So it's a mission, so it has to be executed with a missionary zeal.
Right. Thank you so much for your time and the words you have given and your view on the politics. So
Thank you, Vanshi. Wish you all the best.
थैंक यू सो मच। तो अभी आपने सुने नागेश्वर जी की बातें, उनका क्या सोचना है राजनीति को लेके, युवा को लेके। तो देखते रहिए वंशी इंडिया ऐसे ही इंटरव्यूज के। धन्यवाद।